if I looked around at everything with love? What if I heard? What if I gave? What if my hand reached out to everything with love? What if I'm a beacon of that light that shines in all of us? And what if I...
Begin Within Ministries proudly presents Sofa Sundays with your hosts, Reverend Dr. Michelle Izuku and Reverend Jeannie Sovereigns. Sundays at 11:11 a.m. Arizona time and rebroadcasts on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Come join us on the sofa every Sunday morning. Sofa Sundays with Michelle and Jeannie. Learn more at www.beginwithinministries.com. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.
Good morning. Welcome. Good morning. How are you? Great. You're good. Hi.
Well, hello everyone. Good morning on this wonderful first day of June. Already first day of June. And we have a special guest to commemorate the first day of June. Reverend Dr. Jerry Trower is here with us today. So we're so happy about that. Of course, we do miss Rev Jeannie.
Yes.
When she's gone, but she has to be gone. I mean, what else could you want right here?
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to
My
have
pleasure.
you here this morning. So we are here at the home of Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington's practice. These are her office space here, and she so generously shares that with us here on the sofa so that we can have our practice within these beautiful walls. So we are located at 7220 North 16th Street, Building 1A, and you'll see our logo of the girls on the front door there. And if you're still, you're never late coming here. So if you're on your way, just get in here. We'd love to see you, and we're pretty casual, so it's fine. It's fine. And we have a great topic today. We have a workshop after this talk today. Can you give us a quick, in case people are like, okay, maybe I'll go. No, now I'm going to really go because we want to stay for that workshop. What's your workshop after this today?
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking. So it really is a great, because there is no coincidence. It really is a great follow-up to what we're talking about related to joy, and joy being an internal experience as compared to happiness, but refinding that joy in our lives and the sacred, I don't know. Can we stay in the sacred, I don't know, and sleep at night?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be talking about.
I love it. And he already had that prepared. So
it's a brand new,
interesting
brand new baby workshop, and I'll talk later. I'll talk about how this came to be, because it had to do with an event in my life, and I've been to an event in your life as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely relatable.
Yeah.
So stay with us, or come with us, come now, and then stay with us for that workshop. We're gonna have some treats, some fellowship, and then we'll do that. So I'm excited today. Okay, is there anything else I normally should be doing? Did I get it all? I said it where we're at, and then you'll
dress.
I did say that. I did give all of that. Yeah. Well, the Reverend Dr. Jerry is going to pray us in this morning, so this is a treat. So okay, let's do that.
My pleasure. Great to be with you. Thank you so much. And whether you're watching live or watching later, so glad you're here, or are in this very room. We're so glad you're here. I invite you to just get comfortable where you are. Take a deep breath if you'd like. Close your eyes if you'd like, and be in the lusciousness and the sacredness of this moment. Releasing thoughts of earlier today or yesterday, releasing thoughts of later today or tomorrow, so that we can be in the peace and the quiet of this moment, which is the place of our power. And as we are reminded of our oneness with all that is, with the God presence, with one another, and with all of life. And because there's only one, we allow ourselves to be reminded that we see with the eyes of God, that we speak with the mouth of God, that we hear with the ears of God. And because of that, we allow ourselves to be reminded of this truth, to be fully present for the next little while, to be reminded of the truth of our being, because that's all it ever is. We really know this, but sometimes we forget. So we're so grateful for this beloved spiritual community, for the opportunity to be together today. So I wrap our time together in gratitude, love, and light. And together we say,
And
so it is. Oh, hey, thank you. Wonderful. I love it. I love that everybody's just coming in. It's so fun. It just feels like our little house here and everybody's hanging out. I love it.
Absolutely.
So today's topic is I claim divine right to joy and abundance. And I have a quick reading. I wanted to set that up with a quick reading because for me, the main part about you have it on your cards there. The main part for me is claiming our divine right. So in our wonderful Science of Mind textbook on page 34, there's a couple of quick passages I think that will set the tone, and then we'll go wherever Spirit leads us, right? So it says here that there is that within us that partakes of the nature of the divine being. And since it partakes of the nature of the divine being, we are divine. Thank you. All the denying of it will never change it. All the affirming of it will never make it any more than it is. I love that. All the denying of it will never change it, and all the affirming of it will never make it more than it already is. But since it is what it is and works in the way that it works, it appears to each through his belief. It is done unto each one of us as we believe. So you can certainly run through life feeling like you don't feel very divine and you don't have a divine right to anything, and you can certainly run through life not feeling joy or abundance, but it's done unto you as you believe. And no matter how you believe, it doesn't change the facts. And the facts are that you are a divine being. And yes, you are having a human experience, and it certainly doesn't feel divine all the time. But that's the truth. And I think for me, when I get in a space of maybe, I don't know, where you kind of get that muddy space when you're in a moment of distress, or something has happened that you don't want to happen, or you didn't like it that it happened, it can get a little blurred, like, how's this happening to me? And you can have all these emotions and all this negativity, and it can feel like you don't have a way forward. But that fact never changes. And if that's what you believe, then that kind of helps you to anchor back in. You know, my husband and we had some things happen, and luckily I reached out to my tribe and I talked to Rev Jeannie, and Rev Jeannie prayed immediately, brought us into prayer. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you for resetting where I was going with all of that, right? And that got me back to, if I believe what I say I believe, then this too is all God. Yes. And those other people are God, and we are God, and this whole situation, it's all one thing. And if that is true, then I want the highest and best for everybody involved. I want everyone to win.
Yes. So
let's move forward from there. And we prayed for that, and it was beautiful. It worked very well. That's set. So I would have to say it could have gone down that way either way, but I really believe it went down that way because we set our tone for that. We brought ourselves back into alignment of what the truth is, and that's why that was our experience. So how do you feel? Like, how do you feel about that when I'm saying that the divine right, claiming our divineness, that's our right?
This is such a rich statement, and I absolutely love it. And what came up for me was just the brief question of, your divine right, who do you think you are? So do we come from, because I come from traditional Christianity. Missouri Synod Lutheran Church, which we were Catholic without the fun, but all the guilt, all the grief, all of that. And so even though it's been many years since I've been in a Lutheran church, there's the potential for that residue of, well, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Residue, that's exactly
Residue,
right.
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
And
right.
just that, I feel like an apple that's been run through the mud, and it's almost clear, but every once in a while there's just a little mud left. And so there's the opportunity to when this comes up, for us to say, divine right, do I have any stuff about that? Using a purely metaphysical term, stuff.
Yeah.
You know, do I have any?
That's perfect term.
Right? Yes. And if I do, remember, because how could I not? How could I not have that divine right? If I believe that I am the beloved, and I am, if I believe that you are the essence, expression, and experience of spirit, which you are, then of course I have that divine right that's sitting there waiting for me to claim whatever it is. Or if not, you know, we can go through this, we can do the doubt, and we can do the fear, and we can do the anger, and we can all do the rest of that, unless and until the still small voice gets a word in edgewise and says, you don't really have to do this anymore. So this statement is huge for me, because it truly is our divine right, because how could it not be? How could it not be?
Right, if you believe what we say we believe.
Yes, yep. Buying what we're selling.
Right.
Yes.
So it's just there, and then that's
what we preach.
it. Just
Right,
is what it
right,
is, right?
yeah.
You either believe that or you don't. You don't just believe it when times are good. You gotta believe it when times don't look so good, or you decided to call them not good.
Right.
You know, so that's, to me, the issue comes down to which wolf are you feeding, that term, or which muscles are
right.
stronger.
Yes.
And if you've lived, I mean, I don't know, how old was I when I was introduced to religious science when I was in 7th grade for about 6 months.
Oh,
and then
wow.
my parents stopped going to church. So I was a kid that begged my parents to go to church. Please, can we go to church? I want to go to church. All my friends have youth groups. I want to go to a church. I want to have I want to have a church friends, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And they would like, oh, Michelle, it's, you know, like I was that catalyst trying to get everybody to go.
Wow.
So they would do little things and try, and then it never lasted because it wasn't coming from them.
Yep.
Right. So I did have a little spell where religious science was really cool, and then we never went back. And that was at the old church, First Church of Religious Science.
Oh.
And so fast forward all those years, and then I think I was in my 40s or my late 30s when I came across CLF
Mm-hmm.
and started to recognize, oh my goodness, this is how I believe. This is exactly my issue with fundamental Christianity, which I had a lot of questions, and I went with it, but there were some things I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. And then I'm sitting there listening to Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington preach on Sundays because they hired me as a singer. So I used to go there as a singer. So I just sat there. You have to sit through 2 services when you sing. So I got 2 doses of it. And then I started to recognize, like, oh, that's funny. That's kind of how I think about that. Yeah, and I kind of feel this way too. Interesting that I feel like that, you know. So 40 years of my life. I'm 55 now. So which muscle do you think is stronger? That default muscle that the whole that reality, you know, sends to us through every channel it can.
Mm-hmm.
That you're not enough. That, you know, this is bad. This is all the things, and were just programmed in a programming of, because we didn't know anything else. Our parents didn't know anything else. That's just how it was. So not to blame anybody, not to say anything about that other than this is a practice of
Control, alt, delete.
Thank you.
Yes,
Control,
yes.
delete. Thank you.
Yep.
Let's control and delete some of this. But it's this practice of constantly resetting because that other muscle needs to get stronger. So it's the first thing. It's the first thing that you go to instead of going to the other side of, this is, you know, the world's out to get me and everything's awful and whatever. And then, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Who am I again? Oh, that's right. Now I'd rather go to that first. I'm a divine being in a human experience. So
Yes.
How am I going to move forward from this?
And allow ourselves to to have the spiritual muscle to exercise the
Yes,
spiritual muscle. Because
yes.
if you go to the gym or you're lifting weights or whatever, as we do that, our muscles grow and expand and we get stronger. So the same way in our lives, and I think we talk about this in the workshop, rather than playing the hand that we're dealt. That's an old expression. And this has bothered me forever. This is not what I wanted. This is not the abundance I wanted. This is not the relationship that I wanted. But instead of doing that, what if we, and back when my late husband and I first found this teaching, the first assignment was manifesting parking places. And you might
I'm a
remember
pro
that
at
as
that.
well.
I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm a pro.
Yo, I am too.
I'm a pro.
It's
Okay,
amazing,
right, you're
right? Yeah. So but that's pretty easy in the
Skill, it's an
universe.
important skill.
What I know, right? Yeah. The universe can do that without too much trouble. But if there's no degree in miracles, and I can do a parking place at Costco at noon on Friday, then I could do this, and then I could do this, and allow Spirit to always say yes, because Spirit always does, and grow those spiritual muscles to create this most amazing life that we say we want. But am I too lazy to do the work to allow it, because that's all we're ever doing? Am I too lazy to allow this to happen? And no, it's okay. No, I'll be all right. Well, yeah, we can just be okay, or we can have this most amazing life, but it's up to us to, again, recognize we have the divine right to say, but this is what I want. I want to fly first class. I don't want to be in the back of the plane in the middle seat, or just whatever the case might be.
Exactly.
Yes.
I agree.
Well, kind of reminds me, you talk about, is it laziness?
Thank you. Go ahead.
You ask if it's laziness, and I think for me, what'll happen a lot is,
Sorry.
Is that too high?
I don't know. Jeannie always.
I probably don't even need this, but
You can just turn it off.
Off?
Yeah.
okay, I can.
Yeah, just talk loud, because it's,
So like when I'm focusing on creating or manifesting or raising the vibration, I don't think it's unusual for those old habits, like the old smaller S self is trying to assert itself because it has lived in that in that garbage for 50 years or so, and so the notion of it rearing its ugly head because it wants to maintain, it wants to survive.
Right.
It's like I'm crapping in my own nest. It's like, but it's my nest, and I'm used to that nest.
Yeah.
So for me, just kind of living with the discomfort of, yeah, I hear you, but that's not true for me anymore. That's my mother's voice. That's not my divine voice.
I love that. And we can tend to live by just defaulting to that.
Because it's strong.
It's
wants to survive.
very
yes,
strong
right,
and powerful. And we
right.
can just, if we're not being intentional, if we're not getting up in the morning and in prayer work, like I'm not perfect. I can tell you, I know the difference between a day that I prayed in or had my meditation time, my visualization time, and a day that I haven't. And it might be half the day goes by and I'm like, why am I pushed? And I go, oh, because I didn't get up. It's exactly that. I didn't set myself on the other muscle stronger, and it just makes everything like harder. I don't flow through my day and everything just comes to me, I'm not flexing my superpowers. I'm just living by default in this program that I've had. And so I think to not be lazy and instead be intentional. Set some practices, set some rituals, and not to say change it all overnight.
No.
Because you don't go to the gym and suddenly become a bodybuilder in one day.
Right.
Right? It takes the time to build. It takes the time to build this muscle and this muscle, take a break, go to this muscle and this muscle, take a day break, go to the next. So you might not even be doing the same thing every day. Maybe you just recognize in the morning, I want to say a prayer in the morning. Maybe I'd start with that. Maybe I don't visualize yet, or I don't meditate yet. I just want to pray in. But by the afternoon, I know there's sometimes in the afternoon there's a slump for me. Okay, so maybe I set a time in the afternoon. I might just have a moment. Little things.
Yes.
Little things to get away or to change what you're building your day and your life on, instead of being by default in the old patternings and the old programmings, in order to create new ones. It takes time and it takes little movements.
Yes.
And to have a lot of grace. You may go several days and be like, dang it, I haven't done it at all. Totally forgot, something takes over and you're on Friday. It's Sunday and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
And that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love that. And I 100% agree with that. And also what you were saying about that part of yourself wants to survive and wants to keep you where it knows what to do here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm safe here and I know what happens here.
Mm-hmm.
I know how this feels, but if you want to go over there, I haven't navigated that yet. I actually don't know the exact steps to get there yet. I'm kind of concerned, and other people have said this about it, and other people have said that. Oh my gosh, it's too much. Yeah, it's going to fight to keep you where it knows what to do and how to survive.
But the indescribable lusciousness of
Lusciousness.
I know, right? That's not bad for 11:30 on a Sunday morning. And I don't know about you, but I bet this has been your experience. The indescribable lusciousness of, I don't know how to do this. I'm just slightly terrified, but I know somehow, some way, this is gonna manifest for me. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna do what needs to be done, and I know it's gonna come out better than I could have possibly imagined.
Amen.
That's what we're here for. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely what we're here for, to get spirit off the dime, and with all due respect, because spirit's there ready to do whatever it is, or I can just hang out and it's okay, I'll be all right. I don't want to be all right. I want to be amazing and extraordinary and luscious, and we always have those opportunities. But we have to claim that divine right to have this most amazing life.
Yeah, like Rev Jeannie says, we're here to give God a good time.
Yeah. And vice versa, right? And vice versa.
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I want to put into the collective, right?
And vice versa.
You want to put that into the collective and let everybody have some of that, right? Yeah, and as you were saying that, I was thinking about, can't wait to see how God works this out, is another one that you can say to yourself. This is a great affirmation to write, especially if you're working towards something that's terrifying you, but you want it anyway. And you're like, all those voices are telling me, oh, I don't know, this is scary, but I want it. I'm excited for it. Like, well, I can't wait to see how God works this out. You say what you want. God says yes, and then everything.
And that's that sacred I don't know that we're going to talk about this afternoon.
Oh,
yes,
at the workshop.
Yeah, at the workshop. Yeah, we're going to talk about the sacred I don't know. Yeah, and allow ourselves to be in that. Yes.
Yeah, and the other thing I heard was, when you are living in that space of default, when you are sitting in there and you're just the status quo, right? You have dreams that maybe you're scared to do them or whatever it is. Spirit's never satisfied with that. Never set, because you have a greatness on you. You are the divine. And if that's true, then you are you have so much. And whatever that is for you could be, it is totally different than what it is for me. You might have some people who want to be, their greatness says, I'm out in the world, everybody knows my name, and I'm doing this and that. And someone else's greatness, my mother's greatness was, I want to be in my garden, and I want to plant, and I want to experiment. Like, how does this grow over here? And she'd have me come over and be like, look at what I did over here. Okay, so I'm going to plant. I planted some of these right here, and I'm thinking they're going to grow. Like, that was her thing. So whatever it is for you, you know what's pulling you, what's calling you, what you want. But if you just sit in this day after day default setting, spirit's never satisfied with that. It's that gnawing that happens to you. It's that
divine discontent.
Yes. You're upset about, you don't know what I'm upset about. Why I'm always angry. I don't know why I'm always feel like this. Or I'm trying to think of different examples of when I know that I'm in that space where I'm not moving like I should. I could be very stressed out. I could be, it's showing up for that because I'm not claiming my divine right. I'm not in alignment with my truth.
Yeah.
And that discord is uncomfortable. And sometimes that discomfort is what pushes you to move.
Oh, yes.
But I want to move. I want to just move on my own. I want to move without
Without
being
the
pushed.
cosmic
I don't
2x4,
want-
right? Yes,
I
yeah,
don't
we
want to
don't
do
need
that.
that.
I want to
Yes,
just
yep.
go. So I feel like right now in my life, I have a lot of callings, things that I'm being called to do, a lot of creative things and a lot of different moves in my business. And while some of those, I want that, I want the thing I'm trying to manifest, and it's putting myself out there. It's a little scary. And every day I'm having to say, what's your next move here, Michelle? And then just go, whatever spirit says, just go. Stop thinking, stop all this, just go. And it's like a constant reset every single day, maybe a couple of times of the day, to keep in alignment with my truth.
Yes.
Because it's so easy, the other side, it just wants me to play small, and it's hard. That can be very hard to feel. You want that so bad, and you're in discomfort at the same time.
Yes.
Like, how do we just say, forget that, I'm claiming it and I'm just going,
But that's part of, to me, that's part of the experience of the experience. And really quickly, so I sold a piece of rental property about 3 months ago.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Right when the stock market started to do what the stock market did, and there was talk of tariffs and so on and so on, and so people's 401ks became 1ks for a while, and you're going to take the money out of the 401k to make the down payment. Now I can't anymore. So there was a lot of that. I wasn't real comfortable knowing what I was doing. Thankfully, I had an amazing real estate agent, but every day Spirit and I had ongoing conversations about, because my ego or the news media or whoever would tell me all of the reasons why this isn't going to happen, you should wait on this, et cetera, et cetera. And the still small voice kept saying, stay the course. Stay the course. You'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. And then a move. And how do we, and I was renting to a relative, and that was ending. And so I had to help with packing up all the stuff and getting the stuff out. And how am I going to do this? And oh my God, what happens if? And the still small voice says, yes, but what if at some point you'll be standing there and it will be greater and easier and faster than you could have imagined. And that's what happened.
What if it only takes one?
Right.
I love that one.
And so when we do this, and whether it's something, because Course in Miracles says there's no degree of difficulty in miracles. So whether it's a parking place or selling a rental property in a goofy economy or finding a job or whatever, we can look back and say, well, if I did that, and again, stretching our spiritual muscles, if I did that, then what's next for me? And it's got to be bigger, because otherwise you're going to get bored with it. So if Spirit and I did, if we did this, think of what we could do this next, and think of what we could do next.
I love that. If Spirit and I did this, think of what we could do next.
Yep.
I love that. That's a new one. Just so you know, I hide tissues under there because I'm
you.
always needing tissues.
Thank you so much.
I didn't tell him where the stash was.
I appreciate that.
That's why I love your big heart, Jerry. It was the biggest heart. Yeah, what if it all works out, right? Maybe ask that question instead. What if it were possible? Yeah, but what if it were possible? What if that thing I want were possible? Because you know it is. You wouldn't think it if it wasn't. That's what I always tell myself. Like, if I had that thought, there's a way to it.
Yes.
Or why if that thought wouldn't exist? It doesn't.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
If you understand how God works, you just have to speak really loud, Amy, because we don't have the.
I love. You know what I've been getting? I've been working through the divine ick, and I just traded in the divine ick for the divine cosmic truth. So thank you. I love
Divine
this topic.
The
Cosmic
divine
truths.
ick. I love that.
Because even the ick teaches.
It does.
It absolutely
all
does.
teaches.
Yes.
And you know what? That's just, I wasn't able to hear the lovely messages. I needed to hear the ick. I needed to be in it. I think I needed to experience the ick in order to experience what suffering really means. I experienced it. I went through it. I feel like being in Arizona is like putting my soul to the fire, burning through all the crap, all the Maya, all the illusion, and now it's time to like come out the other end and know the truth of it all, rather than all the things that we've been taught through marketing because somebody was trying to sell something. No,
Yep.
thank you. Not buying anymore.
Love that.
Can I piggyback on that?
Do it. Just speak up.
So I had a dialogue with somebody online the other day about catastrophizing as we're looking forward to something. But what if the rug gets pulled?
Oh,
But what if it doesn't work out? Well, go ahead and go through that imagination. What happens? What full cycle? If the rug gets pulled, it doesn't work out how you want to. What do? You regroup, you rebrand, you reorganize the situation. You get a chance to start fresh and do something different. Okay. What if it doesn't work out? It's still divine.
Right.
Right.
So once you go through that catastrophizing, you're actually a little bit more free to just focus again on visualizing for what it is that you want.
Oh, I love that.
Because even if you don't get it, you know it's going to be cool anyway.
that's
Yeah.
a great word. I
That's-
love that.
that's
Thank you for that.
beautiful.
Thank you both for that. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Really great.
I did that with the move because the unit was on the second floor and it's starting to rain. And so, oh my God, so I've got these boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes coming down the steps. Oh my God, what if you slip? What if you face plant head first into the first floor?
no.
What if the movers, what if this happens? What if this happens? Because our ego, and Wayne Dyer says that stands for edging God out. What if our ego tells us all the things, all the reasons why that couldn't possibly happen? And my late husband was from Kentucky, and one of his favorite affirmations, and this is very, very spiritual, tain't so. Tain't so, tain't so. So that was so I called on my angel to be with me, and just every time I started to have that thought of, oh my God, what if tain't so? Tain't so.
Yeah, that was your ego's last ditch effort to get you to not make that move.
Right.
That's
Yep.
now it's starting to, terrorize you.
Yes. Yep. Tain't so.
It's amazing how
Yes.
that thing works, right?
Yes,
Like,
it really is.
And I want to say, like what you were saying too, man, like, thank you. I sometimes I'll say to it, thank you so much for worrying about me and wanting to keep me safe. And
Yes,
but I'm a 55-year-old woman now. I got this. So, but thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Yep.
you for
I
caring.
appreciate your concern,
Yes,
but yes.
making me alert to situations.
Right, exactly.
But I've got it.
Yes.
I've got it now.
Respectfully, shut up.
Right.
Yeah.
That survival mode was okay when we were little. And sometimes it just keeps going with us, and we don't, as adults, we need to reclaim that we've got it. Thank you, but I've got it. I know this is new territory, but
I'm okay.
I'm in alignment
Yes.
and I've got this. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm getting chills everywhere. You guys are so good. So good.
Spirits in the
I
house.
love it. Oh, this has got me again. Oh my gosh, that feels so good. I recently was talking with a client, not a client actually. This is not somebody that I've had as a business client, but we were talking business because I love to talk all things business. And we were talking about the trends in the industry he was in and I said, well, how's business, And he says, oh, it's just slow. And and he tells me this whole thing, which was so interesting to me. It's just slow. It's the time of year. The season's like this, and already I'm in my head calling bullshit because my head goes, none of that's real. None of that's real. But he kept saying, yeah, and even if you read any of the industry magazines, they're all saying that this is what's happening, whatever. And I said, and it could also be these things: lack of education, lack of understanding of what you actually do, not knowing that you are there to solve this problem. It could be those things and nothing to do with all this other stuff either. And he just, we had a really deep conversation around all of that. So like, it's how you claim it.
Yes.
If you want to go with what the world's telling you, that this is all bad, and if so-and-so's, and like, I always say this, but I don't mean it for any particular president, but I always hear it, no matter who is going to be president. If so-and-so is president, XYZ is going to happen. Doomsday, the whole world's over.
Right.
And they say no matter who it's going to be. So it's, not anybody in particular with what's happening right now, and I always think like, or it could be great. You know what I mean? It could be like we're claiming these things. I'd rather claim our divine right.
Yes.
My divine right to joy and abundance and peace and love and the experience of all this greatness that I am coming out of me and sharing it with everyone else. Like, I want to claim that. I don't want to look at what the trends say, what the news says, what everybody's so afraid of. I don't want to be in that swirling part of whatever's going on out here. Yeah, I don't want to be in that egg.
Right. Yes, exactly.
I want to be in this space feeling like this, like I feel right now, all the time. All the time.
Because in this economy, if anybody is selling a house, if anybody over the age of 55 is finding a job, because I have a friend that's gone through that, if anybody has done what you want to do, that means you can do it.
Yes.
And if nobody has ever done it, you can be the first. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if the industry magazines and the newspapers and all the rest of that harangue is not making you feel better and making your heart sing, turn the television off. Stop reading
Don't
it.
put another dime in the jukebox.
Yeah.
I love that, right?
No
Yes, I
more.
love that. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
This is such a good point. Like, watch how those things are making you feel. Are they lighting you up, making you feel ready to go get the world, or are they just putting you back in that default space?
Yes.
With all the other
The
people
ain't
who are
it
watching
awful?
it too.
Yes.
Yeah, because like, change the frequency, change your radio station, align with something else. You don't have to watch the news.
No.
You don't have to know any of that stuff. You don't have to. I mean, go ahead.
Wayne Dyer also talked about this. It's like we have a world, like a whole world of possibility. And it's as if like we go to the store, we see all the shitty things and say, I want all of that.
And you have like,
But you don't.
No.
no,
So
But
just kidding.
But you think that's all that's available.
right. And there's just so much more.
Yes.
Always so much more.
Yes.
And we get to choose, which is the best part of it.
Yes.
But that, I don't know that we always either remember that or we don't always know that. And I mean, like, there are times where we go through life and I know what I know,
Yes.
what I think I know. I mean, I can sit up here and talk about it, but do I always know? There are certainly times where I'm walking through and I guess I just forget all of a sudden what I.
That's why we need community in each other.
Right.
To help remind
Yes.
each other, like, hey, we all get stuck in the old program.
Yes.
We all get stuck in the ick. We all see it.
Yep.
And if we can be there for each other to say, hey,
Yeah.
that's just old news.
Yeah.
But I feel like the more
That's
we are together and the more we
Yes.
study this and the more we allow ourselves to be reminded of this, we go down the road toward ick. I love that. But we catch ourselves earlier. So before the final destination of ick, we're catching ourselves earlier and earlier in the program and saying, no, tain't so. And we come back so sooner and sooner rather than getting down to the end of the road.
Sooner or later, we figure out there's no cheese down that hole.
Exactly.
Ah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
cheese isn't even good for you. So
Right.
what are we
Hey, now you watch yourself.
Sorry. Holy cheese.
All cheese are not made alike, though.
No, that's
I
true.
know,
You're
so I
right.
know what you're saying,
apologize. I
sister.
step back. I withdraw my statement.
I yield.
I yield.
Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Yes. I mean, definitely the working on this every day and reaching out when you're feeling distressed. And I'm telling you, I'm so grateful that I did that with Rev Jeannie the other day. We do these Marco Polos together. And so I just got on a Marco Polo. I'd already been feeling kind of yucky about everything. And I got on there and I wasn't going to really even say that. She's Marco Polo'd me, so I was going to answer her Marco Polo. If you don't know what that is, it's a cool little app where you can send video messages instead of text. You just can record yourself and then you go back and forth. And it's really cool if you don't have that. It's really cool. And she got me into that. But so when she came back on her Marco Polo, and it was just a prayer. She came right. She goes, "I hear you. Let's go. Let's pray." You know, and then she just prayed for me right there. What she was claiming for me in that moment, and it just was like, your tribe is so important, and it's so important
for you.
Well, that's what changed everything.
Yeah.
Because it got me back in the right mindset, right? It put me back where I belonged instead of running down that rabbit hole where we know it's not going to go anywhere good. And I couldn't see that for myself. I was in the spin. So it takes you need to be working on these these relationships also, you know, every day, so that when something like that happens, you feel safe to call to somebody and say, here's the ick I'm in right now. Or can you catch me? I'm about to fall into the big thing of ick. You know, like this is happening for me right now.
Right.
And let that person call out your greatness. They'll be there for you. We're not denying what's going on. But hey, let's claim your divine right now and how we're actually going to move through this thing together. That's huge. That's huge that we lean on each other. That's why we're not here alone. We're supposed to be together.
Yes.
And you don't have to have a huge tribe. You can have one person in your tribe. It doesn't mean you have to go out and have all these people and tell everybody your business. But you should have a group or a one person at least that you could tell it to and know they've got your back and they're going to be there for you. And it's especially helpful when they know how to pray. They can spiritually treat for you right there. I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, there's so many little tools that we talk about here on the sofa that it's the day-to-day practice of building these things for when those times come.
Yes.
And you forget who you are for a moment. You forget to claim your rights. And so it's either that somebody helps you with that, or you happen upon a little sticky note that you put in the bathroom that says, you know, claim your divine right. Oh, that's right. What am I doing? Let's get back to it. You know, there's little safeguards, little practices, little things you can do every day that help to build the muscles that we want to develop and allow the other ones to become weakened. They're not serving us anymore in their life. You know, they're keeping us from what we want to be creating for ourselves in this experience. So, yeah. Does anybody have anything else? You guys have been really helpful. I love it.
So when we allow ourselves to, we can stay in that place of joy. And I'd love to share a short piece. I have a quote for you. So the workshop, shameless advertisement, after the service this morning, we'll do the workshop about an hour and a half or so about joy. But think about joy being different from happiness. So happiness is
the booby prize.
Well, but happiness is the moment by moment. So happiness is being with all of you today, but eventually you'll go home and so will I. Happiness is the best chocolate cake you've had in your life. Happiness is the cilantro hummus and red quinoa salad from Pita Jungle. Oh my God. I would come to Phoenix. It's nice to see you all, but I just really come to Phoenix to eat, right?
I love that. I
Oh
had
my
that
God.
last week.
Yes.
Last Sunday.
I had it Friday
that.
night.
I do have snacks. I have snacks here.
It was so good. But the point is that so happiness is the moment by moment, coming and going, fleeting experience, whereas joy is something different. And I love this quote. This is I'm sorry?
Ground of being.
Yes.
Ground of
So
being.
Deepak Chopra's book, Power, Freedom, and Grace, and I talk about this in the workshop as well. But he writes, most people say I'm happy because I have family and friends, because I have a great job, because I have money and security. All of these reasons for happiness are tenuous. They come and go like a passing breeze. And when happiness eludes us, we seek pleasure through addictive behaviors out of the unconscious hope that we will find joy. Who has the Amazon app on their phone besides me, sometimes looking for happiness? That's not in the book. That's just an aside. External causes of happiness never create real joy. Joy is an internal state of consciousness that determines how we perceive and experience the world. The internal source of joy, our connection to our creator, our source, our inner self, is the cause, while happiness is the effect. So I can be experiencing that joy in the midst of whatever that ick is, because even though I'm traveling through the ick, I still have that within me, knowing that this too shall pass, and I will come to the other side, and I can stay in that place of joy in that oneness. And I feel like that's so incredibly important for us.
It is incredibly important to us. Were you reading when you said about the cause? Were you reading something, or you said that?
No, I was reading.
Okay, what was this? Can you say that one line again?
Joy is an eternal state of consciousness that determines how we perceive and experience the world. The internal source of joy, our connection to our creator, our source, our inner self, is the cause, while happiness is the effect.
Right.
I am the
So-
joy. I am the joy.
Yes.
That's the quick way to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am the joy.
Regardless of the traffic on the 202 when you're late to work, regardless of the temperature outside, regardless of the stock market, regardless of whatever it is, we have that joy that we can always call on.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's what we are.
And that's what we are.
That's
Yes.
what we are. Love, joy, peace, all of that, abundance. We are that already.
Yes.
We just have to claim it.
Just have to
And
remember.
call it forth. Yeah, just
Yes.
remember who and whose
Yes.
we are.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, that's our superpower. Like running around. Come on, you guys, let's go,
Yes.
And to keep each other reminded of that.
Yeah.
To help each other remember that as we go around our life. And I love, the reason why I asked you to read that again too, is I love when we refer to God as first cause. That's one of my favorite names of God, is first cause. Cause that first, and then we are that effect. And I love that. So the first cause is what you are, the joy, the peace. That's all your first cause. And then how is that affecting? Where are you putting that out into your experience on the regular? So it's a good little self-check, seeing where am I joyous? Where am I having that? And where am I not? And if I'm not, what practice or what work can I do to bring that about more fully?
Yes.
Where do I need to claim my rights
Yes.
so that I'm experiencing that and creating a life I love and a life of joy?
Right.
So, yeah.
And if this is not bringing me joy, whatever this is, whether it's
Right.
work, whether relationship, whether it's whatever, what can I change about myself so that that does bring me joy? Yes.
Yeah, and there's a set point that we can create in ourselves that says something like, we could say, I'm the kind of person who claims my divine right to joy and abundance. I'm the kind of person that claims my divine right to joy and abundance. And then when you're in a state of not feeling joyful, you can say, well, if I'm that kind of person, what would I do now? What would I do
Yes.
right now? What would be my
Yes.
next move here? And that first response, that
Yes.
first quick response, that's your answer, not the flood that comes from your head, which is coming from your ego. All the data, all the reasons why not, all the experiences. Remember last time you did that? This is what, all that stuff will flood in. But it's that first response. That's your move, even if it seems ridiculous. And oftentimes it is ridiculous sometimes, but it is your move. And if we can check in with ourselves and say, hey, if I'm the kind of person that claims my divine right to joy and abundance, what am I doing about this here?
Yeah.
We can just check in maybe a couple times a day. Anytime we feel we're not feeling good about whatever we're dealing with,
Yes.
you'll get your next moves. And if it's just little baby steps here and there and here and there, just from those check-ins, that muscle gets stronger and you keep heading in the direction that you want.
And it may be just about reframing the story. So I'm upset about this.
I love reframing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is this upsetting me so much?
Mhm.
What can I change about my interpretation? Because that's all it ever is. What can I change about my interpretation about this experience, and find, and Abraham talks about this, the thought that feels better. Because that's all we're ever doing is how can I reframe this? How can I change this to a thought that feels better?
Chew on the contrast.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
However gritty it is.
It can be kind of gritty. Yeah. What was I putting on here? I love that. I love the changing how, because our reaction is our responsibility.
Yes.
And if I'm in a situation with somebody and they're not being nice to me or they're not doing whatever, that's not really my responsibility. My reaction is my responsibility.
It would be so much easier if I could say, well, you hurt my feelings, or you did this, or you made me angry, or whatever the case might be. And as we know, sorry, it just, there's a situation on the path up ahead of us that we're walking, and we get to decide if we're going to step in it and make a big mess, or if we're going to walk around it. But it's always our choice, which is incredibly empowering and incredibly irritating. Because you mean I have to take responsibility for this? Yeah, you kind of do.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, it is so frustrating when you first learn that. When you
Yes.
first learn that just a minute.
Yeah.
When you first learn that it is empowering and very frustrating.
Yes.
It's the first time you hear that, because you're like, well, wait a minute, what? I created all this? What? This is a mess. How did I create this? But what's so cool is if I created it, I
Then
can
I
change it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's where it's so cool.
If I'm the victim, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you're in default.
Right.
Then you're living in default. And I don't know anybody that really wants to live life like that.
No.
None of us do. We don't realize that we're doing that, I think, a lot of the time when we're doing it, but nobody wants that. It doesn't feel good.
No. No, and we can't do anything about it.
Right.
If you're the victim, there's nothing you can do about
Everybody
it.
else is doing it to me.
Right.
Life is so mean to me. Everything's so difficult for me.
Yeah. Well.
You know? Or we can claim our divine right, that we are divine beings in a human experience, a human video game, whatever you want to call it, and we get to decide. That's empowering. That feels like amazing. It's a little scary.
Yes.
It feels really big, doesn't it? It feels like we might take up some space around here. Oh my gosh,
Well,
but
it is
that's
big.
how
It's big to respond
it
instead
is.
of react.
Yes.
Yes.
It's huge, right?
It
It
is.
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Give
that's what
yourself that grace to take the breath, have the response instead of whatever reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Amy. Yeah.
I'm really having a new relationship with the word responsibility. I really wasn't a big fan of it, but literally, but it's literally the ability to respond.
Ooh.
And you know what?
I love
There's
that.
this slippery slope of our ability and compulsion to do a spiritual overstep. But you know what? I actually powerfully have fits. I had this morning, I was like, there was a block of ice on the floor for our husky, and I got pissy because I slipped on it. I saw it was there. I'm like, I just almost cracked my noggin. I'm like, who the hell are you? Like, yeah, so that's what I
Responsibility.
I
That's
love
a
it.
great Sunday
It
talk.
is a
Thank you for
great-
that.
yes,
I like
I wrote
that.
it down
Yes,
too.
yes,
I love it.
yes.
I love it.
Love that.
But yeah, it is. If we could live life coming to it, coming
Yeah.
toward it,
It's an
instead of
invitation.
reacting all the time. Right.
And we get to have a little upset. We can actually play in the upset. Give yourself a little bit.
Yes.
I'm going to give myself, if you want to, you maybe actually, we might move through that where it doesn't even require that because we really get the truth of all of it.
Right. I think we wallow in it when we forget that we
Yeah.
are responsible
Yeah.
and we can change it. I think we do that for a little while until we go, well, wait a minute, I'm the one that's keeping myself here. I can move out of here anytime I want. It's like the horse that gets, they just wrap the thing around the pole. The horse can move out of that any time it wants, but the horse just sees the thing and doesn't even try. Just stays like that. It's incredible. A huge animal like that could definitely get themselves out of anything like that, even if it were
Right.
tied up all the way, but it doesn't. It
Didn't
just goes,
know.
okay, I'm just
Yes.
sitting here.
Yeah.
Just gonna stay here.
So we can do the pity party,
Oh, yeah.
start with 5 minutes
Yeah.
and then
But that's it.
cut it down a
5.
minute.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
And then-
build from there.
No, cut it down. And so 5
Yeah.
minutes and then 4 minutes and then 3 minutes. And then all of a sudden,
Oh, I don't even need to do that.
don't even need to do that because we're just observing, oh, that's interesting. How could I change that? How could I reframe that again to a thought that feels better?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you're in
It's
your
more empowering.
divine state, when you are moving in alignment with your true self, you don't want to wallow in that.
No.
You don't feel, you don't need to, because you're like, hey man, I don't
No.
need to do. I'm gonna clean all this up and move forward.
Yeah.
Right? You feel better. You feel empowered. So it might just take you a minute. Might need to be in it for a minute to recognize that. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't do this. I'm not having this. I'm creating my next move right now. And then all you have to do is ask yourself that question. If I were the kind of person that claims my divine right of joy and abundance, what's my next move?
Yes.
And that's it. You know what to do.
Yeah.
I hope we've helped each other today. We all have all these
Always.
great ideas and sharings, and that's what we try to do here, is we try to create that, because we are all God moving through our spiritual or human bodies, creating this experience together. So this was fun today. I liked it.
It was. Thank
I
you.
think it was your energy coming through, huh?
Well, combination of both
Yeah.
of us and all of you.
I know,
Yes,
right? It was
Absolutely.
so fun.
Oh, yeah. Those
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, obviously. Yes.
It's just fun having you here. Thank
It's
you
great to
for
be
making
here.
this happen.
Oh, truly my
this
pleasure.
weekend. I'm very happy to see that you could do it. I wouldn't even ask you. Jeannie asked, but I thought you don't even live here. But then it worked out.
Well, and I said no because there was something going on, but then I was able to switch something.
Yeah.
And I love coming to Phoenix, and I really love, with all love and respect, I love coming to Phoenix the beginning of June versus the middle of August.
Oh,
Although I would, but it's a little more civilized the
Yeah.
beginning of June. So, but
it is.
great,
Not
great to-
very much more
great to
though.
be well.
Very much more. Although it's raining a little bit today, so
Yeah,
wow, we get a little
so-
bit of a treat today.
Right,
I'm
yes,
feeling
but
pretty
it's not
happy about
110 out there, which is
No.
great.
Oh my goodness, what is it? Let me tell you. I'll tell you right now. It's only 88 degrees,
Hey.
boys and girls. We will take
Right?
that.
I need
to
a
the
sweater, right? Absolutely.
I know. Oh my goodness, so much fun today. Anything else before I
Thank you.
close this in prayer?
Thank you for all of it.
Yeah, such good energy today. All right, let's take
So-
a moment. Go ahead.
Workshop,
Oh,
about
yes.
an hour and a half or so in a cool place. So would love it if you have time, stay with me, and we'll get some more insights into our relationship with spirit.
And I have treats too.
Yes.
So let's pray us out, and then
Okay.
we'll go. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Just grounding in all that yummy stuff we just shared with each other. What a beautiful, beautiful time. Come into the recognition there's only one life, one power, one energy. And that is the divine. That is God. Each one of us are that divine energy as it moves in, as and through us. It is that joy, that peace, that love, that connection, manifesting uniquely through each one of us. And as I speak my word for our time together, knowing that God only says yes, I know and affirm that as we allow ourselves to rest in our truth, to know our divine nature, to claim our rights to that joy, that love, abundance, that peace that we are. I know that we experience our desires, the things that we are wanting to bring forth into our lives. We are the creator. We are the cause. And I'm so grateful for this truth. I'm grateful for knowing this truth. I'm grateful for the reminder of this truth. I'm grateful for this moment together, sharing of ideas and thoughts, and our connection. And so I let it go, knowing that it is divinely guided and truly blessed. And together we say, and so it is. and I can hear the rain outside. So I'm like, oh, it's raining.
So how can we support you?
Yes.
Well, there's quite a few ways that we appreciate support. So first of all, if you are on the live feed, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more that subscriptions we have, the more that YouTube sends it out there. If you see this on Facebook or on Instagram, same thing. If you like it, share it, comment on it, those algorithms say, hey, there's something cool going on here. So let's send it out to more people. If you live locally here, we'd love to see you in person. We love having the comments and the sharings, and just our connection together makes the time on the sofa so much more powerful with all of you here. So if you're local, we'd love to have you be here in person. We've got lots of hugs, and we're just a great community that's growing. If you are online, we love that too. So thanks for being here. Either way, whether you're watching it live or on the recording. If you feel called to support us financially, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can do a one-time donation on the website at www.beginwithinministries.com, or you can become a spiritual church club partner, and that is a donation of $45 a month for an individual or $75 for a couple or family. And this supports the work that we do. This allows us to continue being here, but we also want to grow and do more. And we want all of our partners to benefit in that. So that's what we're creating together. If this has fed you, if you find your heart in this space with us, we invite you to join us and be a partner with us in this journey. And Rev Jeannie, if you're watching, I don't know if you are yet, but we love you and we miss you. And I hope you're having fun out there. I know you are. And say hi to Dakota. And so all of you, thank you for being here. Is there anything else? Have I missed anything? Please stay after for the workshop. If you couldn't come to the service, but you want to come to the workshop, you can. It's going to be, we'll probably start in about 15-ish minutes because we've got some refreshments to put out and stuff and a little bit of a break. So you're still welcome to join us. We'd love to have you all here. All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Nope, just great to see all of you. Thanks so much for being here.
All right. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Time, or Monday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.